Welcome to Legacy Living with Kimberly Tift, a weekly legacy conversation where we explore how to prepare today so that the people we love can thrive tomorrow. Legacy Conversations with Kimberly Tift, Season 1, The Cost of Waiting. Preparing today, thriving tomorrow. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'll do it next week? Things are just too busy right now. Once life settles down, I'll finally get around to it. Most of us have. Not because we're lazy, not even because we don't care, but because life has a way of convincing us there's always more time. Tomorrow feels guaranteed. Next month seems close enough. Next year feels like the perfect opportunity. But life doesn't always wait for our schedules. Sometimes the phone rings unexpectedly. Even sometimes a diagnosis changes everything. Or maybe it could be a job that changes. A marriage changes, a family changes, a season even changes. And suddenly, that thing we thought we had plenty of time to do becomes a thing we wish we had done yesterday. The cost of waiting isn't always measured by what happens. Sometimes it's measured by the peace we never give ourselves or the people we love. Welcome to Legacy Conversations. I'm Kimberly Tift. Thank you again for allowing me to spend these moments with you. This is where we have honest conversations about life's transitions and the choices that shape the lives we're building every single day. So today's conversation isn't about creating fear. It's about recognizing one simple truth. The decisions we postpone today often becomes the burdens we carry tomorrow. Let me say that again. The decisions we postpone today often become the burdens we carry tomorrow. Now, I don't believe anyone intentionally puts off the things that matter most to them. You see, life simply gets full. There are bills to pay, children to raise, businesses to run, appointments to keep, and dreams to pursue. By the end of the day, we're exhausted. We tell ourselves, we'll make that phone call later. We'll organize those documents another weekend. We'll update those beneficiaries after the holidays. I'm guilty of that. We'll have that important family conversation when everyone has more time. Then 1 week quietly becomes 6 months. And you guessed it, 6 months becomes several years. Without realizing it, waiting becomes a habit. A habit. And habits have a way of quietly shaping our future. Now here's a turning point that I recognize. Have you ever noticed that life rarely announces when everything is about to change? There usually isn't a warning. No countdown, no reminder on the calendar. Life simply changes. Sometimes beautifully and sometimes painfully, but almost always unexpectedly. The families who navigate those transitions with greater confidence aren't necessarily the family with the most resources. They're often the families who made small decisions before they needed them. They didn't prepare because they expected something bad. They prepared because they understood that peace grows from preparation. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is that waiting doesn't only delay action, it delays peace. Every postponed conversation leaves uncertainty. Every unfinished decision leaves questions. Every unopened folder, every unsigned document, every conversation we keep meaning to have quietly remains on tomorrow's to-do list. Legacy living isn't about trying to predict the future. It's about reducing unnecessary burdens before life creates them. You see, preparation allows us to spend less time worrying about the what ifs and more time enjoying what is. When we prepare today, we give ourselves the freedom to be fully present with the people we love the most. That's a gift no calendar can schedule for us later. Think about one thing you've been meaning to do for a long time. Not because someone pressured you, but because deep down, you know it matters. Maybe it's organizing important family information. Or could it be checking your beneficiary designations? Maybe it's writing down your wishes. And could it even be that it's having a conversation with your adult children? Or it's simply telling someone you love them more often? You see, the goal isn't to complete everything today. The goal is simply to begin. Because progress creates confidence. One small step has a way of leading to the next. And before long, what once felt overwhelming becomes part of the life you're intentionally building. Now, before we close today, I'd like you to consider one question. What have you been waiting to do? Not because you don't care, but because life has been busy. Now imagine the peace you might experience if you took just one step toward that thing this week. Not the entire journey, just the first step. Today's legacy reflection. What is one decision you've been postponing that could bring a greater peace to you or your family if you acted on it this week? Write it down. Then choose one simple action before the week is over. Because waiting may feel comfortable today, but intentional actions create confidence for tomorrow. And in closing, I want to again thank you so very much for joining me for another legacy conversation. And by the way, if today's conversation reminded you of someone who keeps saying, "I'll get it someday," I hope you'll share this conversation with them. Not to pressure them, but to encourage them. Sometimes the most loving reminder we can receive is that today is a gift. As you move through this week, remember this. Life isn't asking us to have everything figured out. It's simply inviting us to take the next faithful step. Because legacy living isn't built in one extraordinary moment. It's built in the quiet decisions we make long before anyone else sees their importance. Until next time, hey, I'm Kimberly Tift. Keep living with intention, keep preparing with purpose, and remember, the future isn't shaped by the big decisions we make. It's also shaped by the small decisions we choose not to postpone. Preparing today so the people you love can thrive tomorrow. Hey, thanks for joining me for this legacy conversation. Remember, legacy is not measured by what we leave behind, but by how we live, what we share, and how well we prepare those we love for the future. Until next time, live fully, love intentionally, and prepare today so future generations can thrive tomorrow. Hey, I'm Kimberly Tift, legacy advocate and consultant, and this is Legacy Living.